With many leakers coming out for rumors of a full-on Star Wars season, I myself, as a huge Star Wars fan, would think that would be awesome. So this really got me thinking, like, what kind of skins would we see? What kind of map changes could we see here? What kind of new mythics and items could we see? And of course, some of them being returning items like the lightsabers and some of the other blasters, but what are some new things that we could see this season? And I know what you're thinking, we have a lot of Star Wars skins already, but we really don't, compared to like Marvel, and there's so many characters that need their own times to shine. So here's my concept for the next Star Wars Fortnite season. The storyline would follow Fletcher Kane making this giant, like, beacon sensor to find more gold for his company to mine, only for him to find the 0-point shard that landed on the island at the beginning of Chapter 6. This basically catches the Empire's attention, causing Palpatine to send the entire Empire to the island. At Tier 1 in the Battle Pass, I have C-3PO. Honestly, it's kind of shocking we haven't gotten him as a skin already, and all I could think of was his skin, some kind of Jawa or Ewok backbling, and then his red arm as a pickaxe. The next skin I thought of was more of a newer Star Wars character, that being Poe Dameron. He'd come with a base kind of style with his leather jacket, and an additional pilot edit style on page 2. He'd come with, obviously, the Black 1 X-Wing glider, Poe's laser pistol as a pickaxe, and you're going to see later on that I have some blasters as pickaxes in this battle pass, and then a BB-8 reactive backbling. Next on my list, I have Jar Jar Binks as kind of the meme skin for the battle pass in a way. He'd come with obviously his base style, and then a Sith Lord style for some of the theorists that go around, a Gun Bungo Starship glider, that's a mouthful, the Gungan Energy Spear pickaxe, and a Jar Jar like built-in emo where he's like has his tongue out and stuff. My next skin would be Count Dooku, and we'd finally be getting lightsabers as pickaxes. His would be in the battle pass and would have a unique hilt, and of course you can have his back bling, which he would take the hilt out of it, and then he has a surfing glider called the Count's Shuttle, and I know canonically that's not really his starship, but I wanted to add a surfing glider into the battle pass. Now we have Mace Windu. He would have his base style and an additional Clone Wars edit style with his kind of like long jacket off. He would also have a lightsaber that would come with a unique hilt and the same back bling that Count Dooku came with, just with his kind of signet and his hilt in there, and then the iconic "this party's over" kind of emote from the movies. I can't believe we already haven't gotten him, but Jango Fett would be my next Star Wars character. He would come with a mask off style, a clone helmet backbling to represent that, he was the basically creator of the clones, Jango's Starship glider, which is just a reskin of Boba Fett's starship, and then his Westar 34 pistols. And at Tier 100, I have Palpatine, obviously. He would come with a younger style from the Clone Wars, a Force Lightning pickaxe where he kind of like shoots lightning out of his fingertips at trees or whatever, a Helm of Vader backbling, which will come with an edit style where it's like burnt and like melted, and then an Emperor's Throne glider. The secret skin of the Battle Pass would be Bo-Katan, and she would come with the Mandalore planet backbling, which would be like a spinning kind of reactive backbling, the Darksaber as her pickaxe, and Bo's jetpack glider, which would work similar to that one glider that we got in Chapter 2, Season 5 with that kind of lady. You know what I'm talking about. I also have some item shop skins here. I have Greedo, Qui-Gon Jinn, and General Grievous, who would use the built-in emote to use his other arms. Now for some mythics. I have Bo's jetpack, which would work like War Machine's hover jets, Jango's blasters that would work like the dual pistols, but would have infinite ammo and a cooldown, and headshots are actually on a 3-time multiplier, and I have Force Lightning, which is a high damage. It has 7 uses, kind of like a Kamehameha, but you levitate while using it as well. Now, obviously, all of the other Star Wars items would return, like the lightsabers, the Wookiee bowcaster, that sort of stuff. But I also have Bo's combat kit, which you would work like the pump and dump, where you could fire a deadly flamethrower and the whistling birds. But if you have Bo's jetpack on, you get plus 10 damage on the whistling birds when you use them. So I have a total of 3 new POIs for this new season, and the first one is the Star Destroyer POI. It would have the Palpatine boss with his Force Lightning, which gives you 10 uses on the Force Lightning instead of 7. And it would give you the Emperor's Medallion, which would grant you the ability that all damage inflicted upon you is decreased by 25%. Now I have the Mustafar POI, which would have a giant castle in the middle, and this would replace Demon's Dojo and Pumped Power, so it's a pretty big POI, and it would have Count Dooku, General Grievous, and Darth Vader all in that area scattered around, but Vader would always spawn at the castle. Each lightsaber will give you the Force Throw ability, which is where you pick up all the rocks and throw them, not the Darth Vader, like, throwing the lightsaber ability. And a Sith Medallion, which would give you an additional 50 Overshield that would recharge. So in zero build, you'd have 100 Overshield, and in builds, you'd have 50. And you can only hold one Sith Medallion at a time. I now have another huge POI called the Jedi Temple, and it would place Shogun's Solitude and Canyon Crossing. It would hold the Mace Windu boss in the big temple, which would drop a lightsaber with the Force Push ability, and it would have a 1.5x damage bonus. He would not drop a medallion, however, you would have the ability to hire Jar Jar Binks, C-3PO, and Poe Dameron after defeating Mace Windu. I've also decided to revamp Loot Island, so basically every match would switch between Sith or a Jedi, and you would either fight Darth Vader, who, if he hadn't been defeated yet, he would be on the island, and vice versa, like let's say General Grievous hasn't been defeated, he would go to the island, or Obi-Wan Kenobi for the Loot Island Saber, which would give you Force Pull, the Enhanced Jango's Blasters, which would just do more damage than the original, and the Long Time Ago Medallion, which would give you Infinite Sprint and Health Regen while not moving. I also have an end-of-season event, and this would basically be where Palpatine is closing in on the 0-point shard, but Obi-Wan Kenobi, C-3PO, Hope, Jones, and the player would all board the Star Destroyer, and they would all fight, and there would be a big boss battle between Hope and Palpatine, and the player, of course, and he would knock Hope out, and the player would use a chain of explosions, sending the shuttle into the 0-point, along with Palpatine. The player and Hope would jump out of the big starship, and Poe Dameron would catch them with her X-Wing, and it would fall in, the Star Destroyer would fall into the 0-point, and it would send it back to its universe. And yeah, that's pretty much my entire concept here. I really like how it turned out. I like all the skins that I picked, and I especially like the mythics that I picked as well. If you have any more ideas, make sure to leave them in the comments, and I hope to see you guys next time. See ya!